All right, we are online. Sorry for coming on a little bit late today. For some reason, the countdown clock was not having any volume on my end, so I wanted to make sure there's something if something was wrong or not. But in any case, I'm gonna assume that people can hear me. If you can't hear me, just put a note on the comments below that you can't hear me. I wasn't able to check the audio just because just ran out of time. But anyway, today we're going to talk about how to set up your Google My Business if you're an agent or an investor. And so we're going to go right into it today. For those that don't know me, my name is Paul Kim, and I am the community founder for Real Estate Life 360. I'm also a real estate investor and also a online marketer as well. All right, so let's get right into it on how to set up your Google My Business. And let me go and share my presentation. Oops, let's go into it right now. All right, so um, let me just make sure. All right, so why do we, um, how does NAP, I guess, let me forward to one more thing. Why do you need Google My Business, first of all? Okay, and a lot of people, for those that are on already on Google My Business, kudos to you. But if you're not, why you need Google My Business is number one, it's the number one search engine. Google is the number one search engine. Anybody, if you're looking for anything, you go on Google and you type, whatever you need to know. YouTube happens to be number two, but we're focusing on Google. For those that don't know, Google Maps, I use Google Maps on my phone right here, as well as I'm sure a lot of people, whenever I go look for go to a destination, I use my phone to go to places, and even for restaurants, I look up the phone number and the website. And so, Google Map is used for direction and also for locating. And so this is reason number one why you should be using Google My Business, because Google My Business incorporates your business into Google Maps. All right. Used for also on your phone app as well as on your on when you type in Google Maps. All right. It also shows up on your local search engine, and I want to emphasize local because the way that Google Map works is that it looks at the proximity of where you are and finds businesses near your location. All right. Unless you're specifically doing a search for a specific business in a certain town or certain location. The other thing is when you do certain searches on Google, it's what's called a three pack. And so if you ever done a search, what the Google does is that it locates three businesses that are most relevant. And the exact algorithm and how to get to that three pack is not going to be, I'm not going to go into that today. All right. And then another benefit is earning trust, because there is a process for you to um, get listed on Google My Business. There is, a little bit of, I guess, uh, recognition and a little bit of reliability, I guess, when people find you on Google Maps. And there's also Google reviews, which you can have poor reviews or good reviews. And so, I strongly recommend trying to get good reviews if you can. And then there's traffic clicks. I'm going to show that toward the end of this live cast. There's traffic clips, there's phone calls and website. Those are analytics, and I'm going to go into that and show more information about that during the end of this live cast. All right, and then which I'm going to go into the insights analytics of Google My Business. And one of the things for you don't know for those that don't know that there's Google My Business, there's YouTube, even Google Console. Those they have a lot of analytics and information that is valuable for you to track your analytics on what's going on online. So if you have a business, whether it's a, you know, I think just, how important it is to get online, to find your, I guess, start doing stuff online, whatever it is, whether it's Google My Business, Facebook, having a website, you got to start doing these things. Otherwise, you're just going to be left behind. All right. And so there's a lot of free tools available to you. You just got to know how to use them. And then lastly, Google My Business is free. All right. It is free for you to use, and Google provides it to you for free. They have ways to monetize it, so but it is free and available for use. All right, so let's get into the next item, which is, let me go back. So before I get into Google My Business, one of the things I wanna explain to you is what's important is what a NAP is, and a lot of people may not know what NAP is. NAP is a SEO terminology. It's online terminology, and it's just a name, address, and phone. And so what it is, according to Moz, which is a SEO tool or website, a local citation is any online mention of the name, address, and phone number for a local business. In this case, if you're an agent, you're a broker, or you're an investor, it is your business. And citation can occur on local business directories like, for example, Yelp, Alignable, and on website and apps, and on social platform. Citations help internet users to discover local businesses and can also impact local SEO, okay, search engine ranking, SEO, search engine optimization or ranking. Now, is GMB, Google My Business, a citation listing? I would say yes, because it is. If you look at it, it's a citations on social platform, and this is considered. It's kind of like an in between social platform as well as a directory. So, is it a is sorry about that. I think I made a typo here. Um, does it impact, I meant to write, does it impact local search engine ranking? And yes, it does. It does impact it, all right, because Google is the number one search engine and it's utilizing Google Maps, all right. So let's get right into it. And the items that you will need for Google My Business, if you don't have a Google My Business listing, the simple thing is you could Google, you can go into Google and type in Google My Business, and then it'll take you directly to the website. Let me just, and I'll show you right now. Let's get into it. Sorry about that. Items you will need. And so on these live casts, for those that are here and watching this after the fact, or you just got on, I'm talking about if you're a real estate investor or a agent, how to set up Google My Business. And let me go and show you specifically right here. So if you just type in Google My Business, and it shows right there, Google My Business, you click on it. And in this case, if I click Manage Now, it will take right now whatever's on my browser, whatever Gmail that I'm logged into, it will go into it. But let's just say that I just want to I probably have to log into a new account. In this case, let me go into my personal account. And so Google My Business. Let's see. And let's go sign in. And so this is where you will type in your business. And if it can't locate you, that means you don't have a listing. And so in this case, you would just add your business to Google. All right. So that's a simple way of getting just started on, how do I, sorry about that. So let's go back here. All right, so Let's move that over. Goodness, my computer is going bonkers right now. Sorry about that. All right, so this is what happens when you go live and things don't go way your way. All right, so let me just go and pull the right screen over here, and I can't seem to find it. So what happened was it signed me out of my account, and so let me just go log into it. And so for those that well, I use what's called a passcam, so all of my password are like crazy numbers and digits, and so I'm just gonna copy the password because I don't have it memorized. I use a password manager, and so for some reason it is. There we go. Here we go. All right. So I apologize, and I'm just pulling up my presentation. All right. So why don't we just get into it? And I apologize. And this is what happens when your internet does not cooperate with you. And so let's go to, I should be able to start it right there. Okay, here we go. All right. Oops, let's go to where I was before. And here are the items that you will need in order to set up your Google My Business. And so as you're going and registering your business, you're going to need your name, address, and phone number. You're going to need some descriptions, images, and your website. And so I'm going to go into that a little bit more in detail right now. And oh my goodness, this is why live is is you get a lot of technical things that can go wrong and will go wrong. All right. So for those that just joined, I'm going into how to set up Google My Business if you're an investor or an agent. Um, so let's talk about NAP, which is your name, address, and phone number. And so from a broker, so if you're a real estate broker or you own a brokerage, there you have your brokerage, and so the name of your brokerage is where you would register it. Okay, and then agent is anybody that's within that agency or that brokerage. You can have individual Google My Business listing for each of the agents that are associated with it. Okay, and so this is where it gets problematic, is when you're switching from one brokerage to another, and so that becomes problematic, and that is really the difficult part, is that if you're switching from brokerage to brokerage, you're going to have kind of a nightmare keeping track of your online presence. Okay, and one of the best ways you can do that is to have your own website. So that's the whole different topic. As an investor, you're going to have to use your LLC name. If you're doing a DBA or doing business ads, just make sure that you use and you stay consistent with that name, the specific name that you're going to use. Um, with the address, with a agent, you use the address of your brokerage. Um, the only thing is with investors, this is where you get a little problematic. Is most investors, you may be working from home or you may not have a physical address. Then what you can do is you can use your home address and not make that visible within Google My Business listing, and just have a service area, just like if you were a plumber or a handyman or something like that, where you do businesses out of your office or home office. Okay, and there is a way that you could do that. You just have to make sure that you get verified. So what Google My Business will do is it'll send you a um, a postcard with a code. They want to verify that that address, that code goes to a physical address and not a post. One thing you don't want to do is get penalized with Google My Business for using a post, like a post box, or a even a UPS, a mailing station, they call it. All right. Um, you can use a an office where your business is actually listed. There are services out there you can use that. But for the purposes of this, you know, agent, you definitely want to use your brokerage. And then for investors, whether you have an office or not, those are two ways. Phone numbers. Um, as an agent, you want to use your number and not your office. Now, if you are an agent, and you have certain requirements that are required by your brokerage or your board, then you have to make sure that that's fulfilled within your website. And also, as I think there are certain requirements that you can do within your website, but for social media, for example, Google My Business, it's definitely you want to be using your number that you consistently use. Most likely it's your cell phone. That is the way you do business. That's the way you get leads. You want to be using your cell phone or some sort of, I know, like for example, Sierra Interactive uses they have a specific number out. They don't use the agent's phone number. They have a Sierra Interactive has their own phone number, and then you want to be using that number. Okay. The most important thing is you want to stay consistent and use that phone number within Google My Business, your website, and all of your social media or citation listings. There are, for example, investors that use tracking numbers. All right. For example, I use tracking numbers for my social media, for my YouTube channel, and so you can also list those additional numbers if you choose to do so within Google My Business. All right. And there's a way that you can do that within Google My Business. All right. So the next thing is we're going to talk about. Let me just. This is. I'm using Google. I'm using Google Slides, and I'm not accustomed to this. I'm usually using PowerPoint, but I decided to use Google Slides. So for those that just joined, we're talking about how to set up Google My Business, and going into the second part, which is going into descriptions. The description, there's a lot of things that you can describe about your company, but most importantly, I put in here most of the items, not everything, but I think it's necessary for most professionals, especially agents and investors, is putting your categories. Agent, if you're an investor, there are certain categories like real estate development, real estate consulting, and then your services. Like for example, if you're an agent, you would put in here you're a seller's agent, you're a relocation specialist, or you're a foreclosure specialist. You put those services there. Service area, you can be very specific or you can be more general. It all depends on your niche, your market. The same goes for investors as well. Service hours, some investors choose to do 24 hours. Some agents and brokerages, you can specify the number of hours. Just make sure it stays the same across everywhere that you list, because you want to stay consistent. All right. Website, website address, we're going to talk about that in the last item. And then the other thing that's important is here is why you want to get your Google My Business listing as soon as possible, is so that you can have a profile short name that represents you. Okay. And that is unique. So if somebody went in and took already like Jane Smith, or uh, your name, my name, Paul Kim, and the reason why I use in my social media platforms, this is my right here, which is Paul Kim at it's Paul Y Kim 360. And the reason I use that is because Paul Y Kim is already taken on one of the social media, and so I wanted to stay same across the board, and so I decided to do Paul Y Kim 360. And so if you go on any social media platform, You can find me in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. You can type in Paul White 360 and you will be able to find me. All right. So let me take that off. And then um, the reason and also why you need that is because Google My Business has a unique URL that's specific to your Google My Business, so that way you can utilize that. You can even put that link on YouTube, and it will actually show up. Okay, and when I do YouTube on another live cast, I will show you exactly where to put that listing, so that it shows up as one of the links. All right. Um, the description is also important. It has a character limit, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. It's about 737 characters. So whenever we, um, whenever we as a client, because I have a marketing agency and we have various clients, we usually generally have three sets of description. One is a long one is a short, like a medium sized one, and one is a short one. And so we have those templates available for each business, so that way when we go to make these listings on various platforms or accounts, we it's just a matter of cutting and pasting those descriptions into those and just we just want to make sure that those description is finalized. And so you got to spend some time in finalizing and making your description as sociable and as well as very descriptive of you and your business. All right. And then, start date is when you started the business. All right. Let's go to the next slide. All right. So in the very end of the slide, I'm going to show you three Google My Businesses that that we have, and I'm going to go into it, and I'll show you exactly the difference between those three, and I hope that that's helpful for your business. So with images, it's very important with Google My Business, as well as any social media, having images, having videos, having logos that represent your business, because when people search you, those images are going to show up on when people click on you. Um, and when people search you online and they click on your business, your images or the images that you upload or images that customers upload can be viewed online. All right. There are recommended size for normally it's square images. You could do a 16 by 9, kind of like a landscape, but it shows up better because on the phone, square. There is a video size limit. I believe it's 100 megabytes. So there are ways that if you do create a video for YouTube, intro video, or whether it's a video about a community video or any video that you do, it's a promotional video and it's above 100 megabyte, there is ways that you can make the size smaller. We use a combination of two tools. One is Handbrake, and another tool that we purchased is WinX WinX no HD converter. That's another tool. But Handbrake does a good job. It's free. And then any social media photos or images that you are posting online, you can potentially put them um, on Google My Business as well. All right. Alrighty, so let's move on. If you have any questions, if there's any questions below, please put your comments below, and I'll make sure that I'll address it. All right. So I don't know why this keeps on. My cursor is very. All right. So your own website. So when you are listing your Google My Business, all right, you may not have your website. So when you're first setting up your listing, you may not have a website. For those agents or investors, you may not have a website, but you have a business, or you're a new agent or a new investor and you don't have a website. So my preference, and I've always, this is, I think that website is essential. It's essential and also central to your business. And so my preference is using Carrot as an investor and agent. And here is my link, my affiliate link. For those, just wanted to let you know that is an affiliate link. And so if you do get the Carrot and you do try it out and you decide to go moving forward with it, uh, message me if you did use my affiliate link, and I will give you access to a basic startup on how to get started on Carrot. All right, because it could be overwhelming for those that uh, do get the website, and if you're not technically inclined, it might be a little bit overwhelming. So ping me or message me or email me at this email address, and I will get you set up to my course on how to set up your Carrot website, uh, basic startup guide. All right. And then the other option is that if you don't have a website and you're an agent, you could use a website that your broker may have. I know, for example, Compass, those big agencies, they do have like a sub account, or they give you access to a basic a website that has your name on it, and so you can use that. The other option is actually what you can do is you can actually have Google. There is, when you go into Google My Business, Google actually sells you for, I believe, like $12 a year to have a basic one-page website that you can utilize for your business. Not the most preferred, but if you don't have anything, then it's available for you. It's only $12, and then also the price to get a domain name as well. All right, so I'm a big component of Google My Business. If you watched my previous live cast, I've done a one of the things that I do recommend is using Google domains. All right. So then the next item is the two actions that you're going to that you're going to need to do as a result of uh, uh, setting up your Google My Business. Just like in anything, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, you have to do postings and you have to try to get reviews. All right, you have to get reviews, and there are, I think, specific strategies to automate or to make it as simple as possible. And one of the ways that I use is I use a social media manager to push out content for. So basically, what we do is for our clients, as well as for myself, we post on our blog, on our website, and those blogs automatically pushes out to the social media and then pushes out the content to Google My Business as well as other social media. All right. And then doing the reviews is basically after every closing, we ask every um, businesses as well as sellers, buyers, and everybody to give us a Google review. We kind of alternate between Facebook reviews and Google My Business, but most of the time, what we do is in our email, we give them the option to either give us a review on Facebook or give us a review on Google My Business. All right, so but my preference is Google My Business. All right, next is we're going to go over three businesses. All right, so let me see if I can pull those up and I will show you. Uh, the first one is one of our oldest clients that I have a marketing agency, which is K Madison, and Kosher Real Estate happens to be one of our first and one of our agents that we really like working with. And let me just pull their Google My Business and kind of show you some of the information here. Um, if you go, as I was saying to you, all the information is available here. So if you look at it, all of this is their address, this is the name, service area, hours, their phone number, their profile username, which is unique to them. There is a website here, and there is the services, and their description here is, and then their open date here. Now, the one thing that I wanted to emphasize here is this. So I'm going to go over brokerages, agents, and an investor. And you have to understand they're three totally different because of uh, the amount of other businesses competing with it, um, location is important as well. So there may be some areas that are more densely populated, and so that has an effect. So there's a lot of things that go into it. I'm not going to go into it right now. So if you look at it, it shows you the total searches by direct and discovery. So you see 77% is by discovery. I'm not going to go into this. And here is, I do by the quarter because most of the time we do an analysis of each businesses by quarter. And so if you look at the search, it's 4,000 searches and 2,000, close to 3,000 on the map on Google Maps. And then if you look at the actions of what's going on within this business, within the quarter, there's 620 actions and 505 um, visited the website as a result. So when you're looking at a person's, uh, let's say you're for whatever reason, a visitor, whether they found them on Google My Business or through the website they clicked on, or through Google search or whatever, and they clicked on it and they clicked on visit the website or go to the website. And so Google My Business tracks that. And so as a result, 505 people visited um, visited your website. And so it is important. And that's what I said at the very beginning. Your website is very important. I mean, and I want to emphasize this to every businesses as well as especially agents and investors, is because a lot of agents don't spend time and effort into their website, which is very, very important I mean, at the end of the day, it's important. I mean, a lot of agents I talk to, they say, we get businesses through referral, but you're losing opportunity for those that are visiting your website to get their attention and for them to contact you and then for you to get their name and email address, right? And uh, 72 requested directions, most likely because they were going to the to meet a specific agent. So this is a brokerage that we're talking about, because the broker actually hired us as a marketing agency to manage their social media, or manage their online presence. And so 72 people has requested directions or clicked on, find directions or map the directions. And then 43 called from Google My Business, and because there's a choice between visiting the website or requesting directions or calling directly off of your phone. So when you click call, your phone actually just dials directly. Um, and then let me just go down here. Is what this does is that this basically compares the photos. So how important is it? This shows you how important it is to put relative and then, images that are very, what I guess important, sociable, whatever you think. I think this is where, this is very subjective, but also you want to put images and photos that you think the customers want to see, not what you want to see. All right. And so this is where this is 24,000 and businesses like you is 5,000. So as you can see here, for whatever reason, there's a huge peak, and I just saw this morning, and I'm just curious. I'm going to probably do a little bit more research as to what this peak and what happened here. So this is kind of interesting. And so Kosha, just by I could see that there has been, since we've worked with them, there's been gradual increase, but we're always trying to stay ahead of the curve, and trying to do more, to compete with everybody else. And so that's ultimately what we're trying to do. And not only just, it's not all about just pushing out content. It's not all about just, you know, uh, inundating uh, the internet with information, but it's providing information that your customers ultimately want. All right. Let's go with another. I'm gonna just move the screen over so that way I can switch over. Just trying to keep the privacy of the stuff I do as well as the privacy of others. Here's an agent that we've recently started working with, and the only difference between um, this agent and the brokerage is that the brokerage, we don't do a lot of heavy Facebook ads. We work on doing more content marketing and doing like organic traffic. Um, Whereas this agent is focusing a lot on Facebook ads, and so she's putting a lot of money, not a lot. I'm not sure. I have to look at the ad budget, but she's putting some money into it. I don't think it's thousands. I think it's a couple of hundred um, into Facebook ads, and so that's one way she's generating brand recognition and also being recognized in her local community. And so if you look at her insight, um, and we see that, and I just want you to understand, this is a fairly brand new Google My Business listing. When I say fairly new, it's only a couple of months because we had to change her user profile, we had to change her name and all that. And one thing that I want to mention here for those that are agents that are watching is that having, you know, when you're I think a lot of what we had to go with Lisa was basically get back to the foundation and then figuring out what her NAP is. Okay, because if you don't know the NAP, your name you're gonna focus on and your address and everything, then it's very hard to move forward. Okay, so with every client or every businesses, you have to finalize that and then get your foundation set and then start doing and posting. I know a lot of people just focusing on, Instagram marketing or YouTube and stuff like that. But I think one of you got to get your foundation built and then start building. All right. That's the foundation. I mean, that's my philosophy. All right. So we got approximately 92% that's by search here. So not is a lot of it is not direct. 7% is direct. And it's because she's doing a lot of um, uh, uh, and that's what you got to do as a new agent is that you gotta. It's not. We're not even talking about a lot of budget, and she's putting some money into creating videos and then pushing those out and using Facebook ads. And it's not even it's not even strategic. Facebook ads. It's just brand recognition ads. It's just uh, ads to just blanket your local market. All right. Let me grab some water here. My voice is going. All right. So this is what Facebook. This is live. So I could hear my voice going here. Okay. So here we go. So as you can see, she has listings of 1.5 and listings on map is 243. All right. And this is the action for quarter, 11 visits and 4 calls. So right now, what you're seeing is that she's getting, I mean, this is only a couple of months. This is fairly new. And what we're posting right now, we're not doing a lot of content generation. We're not doing a lot of content marketing. Right now, what we're posting on her site is just blog posts that we automatically push out. And you see that they're getting 2 clicks. I think on Google, I think for Kosha, we're doing a lot of content marketing. We're doing a lot of videos and we're pushing that out. And so that's the reason for uh, the searches. So you can see that she's getting some visits and some calls here. Okay. And in terms of she still has some catching up to do, relatively, but she's not that far behind from other businesses like her. Right. So, um, and I think for what we've been doing for the past couple of months has been, definitely instrumental. And she was actually named one of the top 50 realtors in her state, I believe. And so she was happy about that. All right. So the next business that I want to focus on is my own. And I just don't, I try not to show other clients, um, because at the end of the day, it's all competition, right? So, um, but I believe, anybody can, it's never too late because Lisa just started like a couple of months ago, and she's killing it out there. Not, I wouldn't say killing it, but she's moving in the right direction. So this is my real estate company, and the only difference is that you have to understand the market for investors and market for agents. There's a huge market, in terms of the number of players out there or number of businesses. There's more agents, and the number of companies like CGS Group, for that matter, investors or home buyers are very slim, or not slim, but you're talking about maybe 20, 25% or 30% of the market, wholesale market we're talking about. And so if we look at the inside here, and we're looking at, um, we're not looking, the number of searches is not, it's only 568. But if you compare it with other businesses, you can see that it's high. So in terms of photo view, so in terms of people looking at photos, and then also if you look at the calls, you got 9 visits and 1 call. So a lot of times they don't really come visit us. Main thing is with this, I use the website as a lead generation source. So mainly I want to get people to drive them into the website or to call me. All right. And you have to understand, I probably spend very little, and all we do is, like, I don't do any Facebook ads, and I don't do any active promotion. The only thing that I do is I regularly post, and I optimize every quarter. And all I'm doing is I'm pushing out blog posts through social media. And so very minimal in terms of what I do. But I get leads? Yes. All right. Through, whether it's through Google My Business, or through the website, where people get, where leads get driven to the website, and then they fill out the information, and then get their name and email address or phone number in this case. All right. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I um, In the link below, I'm going to update the content description, and I'm going to provide a resource page on the website, for. So this week, today I spoke about Google My Business, on how to set up Google My Business. Next week, I'm going to talk about, I'm not sure, Facebook. I'm going to talk about YouTube, how to set those up, Instagram. So next month in November, every Tuesday, I'm going to talk about the different social media platforms. And so I hope that you can join me next Tuesday. Um, I might be talking about YouTube or Facebook or one of the social media. All right, I still haven't decided which one. And for those that don't know, about, I have a investors meetup tonight. It's at what time? 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 o'clock, and you can go to Real Estate Life 360 and go to, it's realestatelife360.com, and then if you click on the Learn tab, there is a link in there to register for the meetup. And this is not yours. It's not a Zoom meeting. It's a platform that we're utilizing to actually to kind of mimic a physical meetup, where we're going to have a stage, table sessions, and also networking one-on-one. And so you can go to realestatelife360.com and register. All right. Thank you for your time. Can't believe it's already 11:50. That was a long time I spent. So I thank you for staying with me so long and watching this video and having the patience. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. All right. Thank you.